Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cash back. Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of season 4 here in the career mode RTG with Cambridge United. We are at championship level now for the first time. And as you can probably tell by the title, we have some very exciting discoveries at the beginning of this 4th season. Yeah, we have some regens of some rather, well, impressive players. I believe I have the regens of a couple of the world's best players. We shall have a look at the transfer hub. Obviously, I have still a number of players that I had on my shortlist from before still here, but bear with me. I thought initially this was going to be, when I saw him on the scout report, I thought this was going to be Iniesta's regen, a free agent, but no, he's centre mid and CDM, but he has 5-star skills, and he looks like he's got decent physicals, so I'm going to scout him anyway. However, there is a centre mid who also has a secondary position of left mid, just like Andres Iniesta, in the Japanese league. This might be Andres Iniesta's regen. Very excited about the possibility of that. A Swedish striker in MLS. This might be Zlatan Ibrahimovic's regen. A Dutch right mid with right wing as a secondary position. This might be Ian Robben's regen with a 5-star weak foot. This might be Raphael, the centre forward that used to play for Stuttgart. Not Stuttgart, this guy's at Stuttgart. Used to play for Borussia Mönchengladbach. I'm not sure if Raphael's secondary position was striker. If it wasn't and he was down as just an outright centre forward, then it's not his regen, but it could be. And then a Bosnian striker in Serie A. Edin Dzeko, anyone? 5'11". Again, looks like he's going to have good, strong physicals, as was the case with Robben's regen. And then an Italian goalkeeper. It was really difficult to try and pinpoint someone that might be Buffon's regen. Sorry, rephrase. It was really difficult to pinpoint someone that might be Chiellini's regen, because I was looking for an Italian centre-back in Serie A, of which there were a ton. With Buffon, it was obvious. Italian goalkeeper in Ligue 1, and I believe this might well be Gianluigi Buffon's regen. I'm obviously not going to sign them all. I would like to sign a couple. Who those two are remains to be seen. I'm scouting them all, so we'll be able to see what their stats are. That will give us a more definitive option as to who is who, and if they are genuinely the regens, and who's worth signing and who might not be. I have no idea at this stage whether they'll be any good right now, whether it's worth picking them up now or just keeping them on the shortlist to pick up maybe once we reach the Premier League. We are looking for improvements to the squad. I do have a couple of players on the shortlist, on the transfer list. I'm looking for an well, not necessarily English, a domestic right-sided midfielder and a domestic centre-back. I would like to buy, not necessarily English, but English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, or buy from within the English leagues a centre-back and right-sided midfielder. Dickinson is going to be sold. Vargas is going to be sold. Amu and Maris will stay, but probably won't play much part. Halliday will stay, but probably won't play much part. And I'm going to want a striker as well. Striker, right-sided midfielder, or just winger. Could be a left-sided, because I can play them on either side in career mode. And a centre-back. Striker, winger, centre-back. Preferably domestic nationality, if not at least domestic-based. That being in the UK. I still have a couple of names on my shortlist from earlier scouting, of course. We have Samudio, who is just a free agent that I scouted or looked decent. I may still sign him, but like I say, I would perhaps like to sign domestic if I can. Jack Watmore still remains here. He's up to 72 now at 25 years of age and should be available for transfer. We have Ross McCrory available for transfer as a central midfielder who does look pretty damn good physically, and I could train his passing, and then he'd be very, very good as a holding midfielder. Can play at centre-back too, most importantly. So, might be a genuine option. Then, Harry Cochrane is still here as a potential centre-mid. I've still got a number of centre-mids that are still here. We've still got Cameron Brannigan on the shortlist, Bayrami, Gibbs-White. Then we have Kubo still here, and that was it, I believe. So, on the transfer list are Dickinson, Howison as well, and Vargas. So, we should be able to raise about 2 million there. We have in the transfer budget already about 6.5. The pre-season tournament could raise up to 4.4 million, but we haven't yet gotten past the group stage in any pre-season tournament we've played to this point. So we'll have to wait and see if we can actually do that. My budget is, again, about 2 million higher than it was last year. We went 1 million, 2 million, about 3.8. And to be fair, it started at just over 7. But I offered, I think I sent my youth scouts out to search. I've sent my youth scouts out to search, staying domestic. England, Scotland, Ireland, all looking for physically strong players. That cost me about 600 grand, about 200 grand a pop to send those guys out. We are, of course, in the Championship this season, as we say. In our pre-season group, we have Ghent, Anderlecht and Freiburg, with Dijon, Ingolstadt, Alanyaspor and Copenhagen in the other side of the group. It's kind of like Championship level ability teams, but we are, as we say, in the Championship, and it's quite odd for me to see Cambridge United listed amongst those names in the league. In the FA Cup, we've been drawn against Aston Villa early doors. Not the FA Cup, sorry. In the Carabao Cup, we've been drawn against Aston Villa early doors. Now that we're in the Championship, we don't need to worry about international breaks anymore, and we'll be in the third round of the FA Cup to start off with. We don't have to worry about the first or second rounds. With regards to board objectives this year, 2 youth development roles, sign at least 2 players that are younger than 20 years of age, with potential greater than the average overall rating of players in the same position. The regens should do that, so I would like to sign 2 regens if I can. Which 2? I don't know yet. Then I need to sign 4 players in my youth academy assigned to goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, forward. That should be easy enough with the scouts we have out at the minute. The brand exposure one, we weren't able to increase season ticket holders by 10%. In the first season we had that. I'd like to think in the Championship we should be. Financially, they want me to finish the season with a profit margin of 8.8 million. That might be doable if we finish well in the Championship and get decent prize money. Domestic success, they only want mid-table. This is crucial. So I'm not sure how competitive we will be at this level. We were just outside the playoff season 1 in League 2. Then we were pretty much, level with MK Dons as the 2 best sides in League 2. We were by far the best side in League 1 last season, but Championship is a different question. It's a big jump, so I'm not sure. The board want a mid-table finish. I will push for playoffs, but we'll have to wait and see how this season goes. Again, round of 32 in the FA Cup, but as we say, that's much more achievable this year with us starting in the 3rd round, and then obviously no continental success expected of us. So I'm going to try and sell the players that I've got on my transfer list. Howison, Dickinson and Vargas. And then we'll see how much money we've got available to spend for this window by the time we get to the end of the month. Obviously, I'd like to think that we can get out the group stage and raise our budget by significantly more than about 1 million is what we get, I think, if we left or got knocked out in the group stage. As you can see there, my transfer budget, as I mentioned, it was just over 7. It was 7.2. They boosted it by 4.4 from last year, but unfortunately, I've spent some of it already. But that should still benefit us long term with the youth scouts. I have no idea how we're going to get on in this pre-season group. Freiburg, Ghent and Anderlecht are sides that you'd say are probably just slightly better than us. Like players or squads that have players in the mid-70s. Like 73 to 77. Whereas we're kind of 70 to 75 at present. Although it does look like we're about to get a victory against Anderlecht. They've missed a penalty on the stroke of half-time. And with just 5 minutes to go, we make it 3 with 2 minutes to go through Perella. We are going to get a victory in the first first group stage game. Dickinson disappointed not to start. I'm trying to sell you, mate. You want to leave. I've started... I've removed the higher rated players from my training regime. So I'm now only going to be scouting the younger players. Or the lower rated players, should I say. Those it's still in their 60s. Once they reach about 70, I might let them grow for a little bit. So that we can see how they progress naturally before we reach the Premier League. But I'm still going to be training quite heavily those young players. We've had an offer here for Rodrigo Vargas. I shall negotiate and try and get about 1.7, maybe. I think 2 million would be slightly too much of a stretch. He's not on too much wage-wise. I'll ask for 1.75 and we'll see if they'll meet it. 1.2 is what they're offering. I would like at least 1.5 for him, though, if you'd be willing to come that high for him, please. 1.2 again. Come on, Benevento. I know you're just a tiny side in Everton. In Serie A, where Everton came from. They'll accept 1.4, thank you. Right, that might be Rodrigo Vargas on his way out. That would be a good start. Would raise an extra million or so. And as we mentioned, last season I spent a chunk of my remaining funds after the January transfer window on improving everyone's contracts. So, I will get a decent return transfer-wise and wage budget-wise from every sale I make, rather than just transfer budget-wise. So then I won't have to transfer some of my transfer budget into my wage budget to be able to afford players. So fingers crossed, that will benefit us long-term. We're 1-0 down against Freiburg at half-time. Make that 2-0 down against Freiburg. To be fair, they are probably the strongest side in the group. Doumbia scores a second. I presume that's Seydou Doumbia, but I'm not sure. I could have a look, but I'm not sure I can be bothered. It's a 3-0 defeat against Freiburg. In fact, go on then. I will have a look. Is it Seydou Doumbia? I can have a look at team stats. Where are you? Freiburg. Is it Seydou Doumbia? Doumbia. It's Moussa Doumbia. It's not Seydou Doumbia. It's just what it looks, because it wasn't him. Right, up next for us then is Ghent. They've drawn both of their games so far. Interest shown in Gerzic, who was the potential Zlatan Ibrahimovic regen. Now, I would need to buy those guys because they're signed at a club. They've been approached by Dortmund. Obviously shows the calibre of the player if Dortmund are interested in him this early on in his career. That's a low bid from Atletico Banfield. Thank you. He's valued at 800,000. Yes, he's 28, but if you could reach 7 figures, then I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much. I want to be selling. I've basically asked them for double what they offered me. They might just tell me where to go. No, they have offered me more. How about just a straight million? He's valued at 800,000. There's no way I'm going to accept... No. Well, I'm not going to accept 150 grand less than what he's worth, am I? And I was only asking for 200 grand more than what he's worth on the other side of things. Transfer talks break down. He hasn't been able to go. Nastic have come in for Howison. They've offered above his valuation. I shall again try and negotiate that a little bit, but I might not be too forceful with this one. Let's ask for 960. He's slightly younger, 690. Oh, they've just swapped the numbers around. How about 800? 800, please. 690. Come on, lads. I need every penny I can get, please. 750. Good boys, good boys. Right, hopefully they can afford his wages. I think that was the stumbling block for Vargas, potentially. Right, Ghent. They've drawn both their opening games, so draw this, at least. Well, basically, avoid defeat. And we should be into the knockout rounds. Win it, and we certainly are. And that would be the best possible outcome for us, as Brooks Lennon gives us a goal in the 35th minute. Come on, please. Be the first time we've actually made it out of the group stage. Yes, Brooks Lennon. First time we made it out of the group stage in a pre-season tournament. Which means we would be... not maximising, but certainly profiting from the benefiting from the pre-season tournament. How much money are we going to get extra from that? Transfer on for Vargas again. 1 million. That's good. And it's 1.1 for Vargas from Seattle Sounders. Now, I got 1.4 supposedly from Benevento. Will Seattle Sounders be willing to negotiate? That's my hope. I'll ask for 1.75 and we'll see where they're willing to go. 1.3, that's promising. I'll ask for 1.6. And maybe they'll come up a little bit higher. If not, they'll maybe meet me in the middle. They've got 1.4. Well, let's meet in the middle now, and you can give me 1.5. How does that sound? I will accept 1.4 if they offer me it again. Good. Thank you. Hopefully, contract terms will be found there, and we will lose those 2 players. Let's train Mancini next, shall we? Get the left back growing again. I have issued my Scout Future Star in this save already prior to recording, so fingers crossed we'll get a transfer for Hill via Kano of 5 million. No thank you. A transfer for Dickinson. Please be competitive. 750 is nearly there from Hull. 750 is nearly there. I'll ask for 950, and then I would take 900. Maybe I take valuation, but I want to get as much as possible. I'll take 900. I'll take 900. Thank you, Hull. Thank you for just being decent negotiators and actually not dragging it out as long as physically possible. Right, Ingolstadt next. Transfer for Monnier, which is interesting. He obviously, we're hoping, will become a good striker for us in the long term. Right now, he's not really that option for us at present, but might play a role in like the Carabao Cup, maybe. Which gives Ingolstadt a 1-0 lead. They're kind of borderline, aren't they, Ingolstadt, between Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2. Sabi equalises. We're probably about their level competitiveness-wise. Question is, can we get ourselves a win, or are we going to have to rely on penalties? Likewise, are they going to have to rely on penalties? Sabi! Are we about to get even more prize money from the pre-season tournament? We are. A 2-1 win against Ingolstadt. This is the first time this has happened. This is unfamiliar territory for us. Another 1.4 million. Yes, please. Alanyaspor are the side that make it to the final. That I did not expect. Dickinson sold. Hopefully the other one is Vargas sold. It is. And Howison. They've all gone. Superb. Transfer offer for Dimitar Mitov. No, he stays. This has been, so far, the perfect pre-season. The perfect month of July. Can we finish it off with victory in the pre-season tournament to maximise the 4.4 million that was available to us at the beginning of the tournament? Maybe not. Ayuroglu gives them a 1-0 lead. Morella's off the bench. Interesting. Come on. Sabi, step up. It's Brooks Lennon. Ryan Leonard gets himself sent off. That's not going to help. Oh, and we lose on penalties. We should get a little bit of money maybe for losing the final. Or do we not? I'm not sure actually. Ryan Leonard's suspended. We don't get any more money, unfortunately. An offer for Mancini, that's going to be rejected. An offer for Suarez Garcia, that's going to be 9 million from Augsburg. Starting to raise the bar with the levels of fees that we're being offered now for our players. This is going to be basically this is going to be the season where things take a turn from like signing players that are like 1 and 2 million to signing players that are like 3, 4, 5 million, maybe. But we do want to bring in a number of players if we can. So I might still have to, this season, be slightly cheaper. And if we don't... Okay, interesting. If we don't get out the Championship this year, which I don't expect, next year in the Championship we should have a much improved budget and would then become very competitive at the top of the table. Genk have offered us 9.5 for Sabi. Obviously, I'm turning that down. He's going absolutely nowhere. I'm very intrigued to see what Scout Future Star we get this season. But a left back, a cam and a centre back so far. I'd love a striker, to be completely honest. Alberto Copolaro. He was the... Oh, he's out my price range. He's the guy I think is the Buffon regen. 78 rated at 19 years of age. Yeah, that's Buffon's regen. I can't afford him, frustratingly, which sucks. But we'll have to wait and see what the scout reports are on the other guys that are being scouted. I've got a number of youngsters that I'm training. Morella's, I'm really keen to see how he grows this year as well off his own back. 92. Oh, the first game of the... Wow. Right, transfer offer for Mancini. The first game of the Championship season is being played on the 31st of July. An offer... Oh, sorry, a scout report on Romo. Is he? Is he? I don't know. Paulo Bernard de Freitas. I thought he might be a Naldo or Miranda regen, but I'm really not sure. I mean, you guys be the judge, but I'm not sure that he's a regen of those guys. Like I say, I would prefer to buy English if I can, outside of one or two of these regens. Let's see. So, is this Iniesta? No, that's the 5-star skill guy, isn't it? Okay, I'm not too fussed about that. It's this guy, Ruben Lestan. He's the one that I think is Iniesta's regen. Okay, not to worry. This is the 5-star skill guy. He's got decent physicals, but his technicals are lacking. I'll remove him from the shortlist. Okay. Oh, I thought for a minute the guy I thought was Iniesta's regen had come back awful. Hull on the 30th. I wasn't expecting to have a game. Into a Shonin Pal. Please no. He's the Robin regen. A loan deal. A loan deal? Hull away on the 31st. And then, oh, bloody hell, what a busy month. Stoke, Villa, Wickham, West Brom and Birmingham. Well, it is in the month of July, but I will wait until next month before doing it. Wow. We have 10 million to spend. I do want 3 signings though. Do bear that in mind. I do want 3 signings. A centre-back, a winger and a striker. So I'm not going to be able to afford mad expensive players. I'm going to sim this game. I'm just going to sim it. And then just because I want to see who the Scout Future Star is. This might give us an idea of how competitive we might be, because Hull are going to be one of the top half teams in the league. And it's an away simulated game, which normally tend to be the most difficult. But Penny gave us a lead after 9 minutes, and as we head into the second half, we are still in front. Leonard booked. Still 20 minutes to go, still in front. 10 minutes to go, still in front. A win on the opening day of the championship season. Now tell me who my Scout Future Star is, please. That's what I'm most desperate for. Scout has returned. Who is he? Toby Edwards. He's a winger, a right mid. 5'7", 58 rated at 16 years of age, 77 to 94 potential. 80 to 94 for Lewis Baker now. 86 to 92 for Dennis Adebola. Yes, please. And 80 to 86 for Clouchy or Clucci. 69 to 85 for Godwin Okoye. Now I'm gonna release him. I don't think he's gonna be worth keeping. Right. Scout Future Star. That's promising. It's not really where I would have wanted a player though, because we're looking to buy out wide, and I do have other wingers that can grow, like the youngster we have in the youth setup, and I've also got Wagner, of course. Sorry, Ziegler. I'm going to put one in the bench actually, and let's put Morris there. Morris hopefully will grow quite well this season. We are going to need to buy though, rather soonish. I don't want to advance any further. Now we've got the Scout Future Star, we'll stay on the first, because I don't want to unnecessarily have other players that you might suggest move to other clubs before I advance any further. But we've gotten 3 points on the first day of the championship season, which is great. We're getting an idea back about these guys. Lestan, it looks like he's going to be great physically. Technically decent, but great physically off the bat. Very promising for a potential Iniesta regen. Quick for Gerzic as a potential Ibra regen. Dribbling of 97 to 99 at 19 years of age. Oh, yes, that's an Ibra regen. Pal has gone on loan to Frosinone. I am keen on seeing his stats though. Physically superb. Technically superb. Robin regen assured. This guy, maybe a Raphael regen. Not sure yet. His passing's quite low, but his physicals look okay. And then the Dzeko regen. I think that might be a Dzeko regen as well. Boys, we're onto something here. Capolo is out of my price range. And to be fair, a number of these other guys, when the scout reports come back, might be out of my price range as well. I am considering Watmore at centre-back, 72 rated, 3.4 million, 10.5k a week. Would probably be willing to take a wage cut to come to us and wouldn't take up too much of my budget. I would consider Ross McCrory as a centre-back. How tall is he? 6'1". He's quick. Okay jumping. Good in the tackle. Good marking too. And I could utilise him at wing-back as well as at CDM. He might be a very good player to get. And I think he's got potential of the early 80s. He's on a lot of money a week though, which might be a stumbling block. And players like Gibbs White are going to be out of my price range. Bayrami's not on much a week, which could be promising. But again, these guys, like mid-70s guys, are going to be out of my price range. I'm still looking for players that are like early 70s. Cochrane, he could be good. He could be good as well for centre mid, but I'm not looking for centre mids at present. I have a number of central midfielders already. We've Hill, we've Leonard, we've Moreles, we've Lee, we've Bakari, we've Bauman. I don't need central midfielders. I would only consider Iniesta's regen, I think, for centre mid. I think that's all I would consider. But I would like a wide domestic player. I would like a centre-back domestic player, and I would like a striker domestic player. The decision, or the suggestions at least, are up to you, and then I shall decide, once I've scouted everybody, which one of them to go for. It may end up in a vote, it may not. There may be a standout option where I'm like, sorry lads, I want this guy. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you're excited about this season in the Championship. I don't know how we're going to get on this year. We had very positive seasons in the lower leagues. Not quite getting promotion season 1 in League 2, but still a strong year. Pushing for the playoffs. Obviously then automatic promotion. Obviously then a league win the subsequent year. Are we going to be relegation threatened this year in the Championship? Will we be mid-table? Will we be pushing for the Premier League via automatic or playoff promotion? I'm not sure. Milinkovic-Savic has gone to Hoffenheim for 84 million. Where have they got that money from? Some big deals going through already. Aouar to Manchester United for 61.5. Agustin to West Ham for 48.5. It's all kicking off, lads. Are we going to get involved in the money next episode? I certainly hope so. I'll see you then.